Well, I'm just about to power up the Thomas which belongs to this Risky Rails bridge drop, and I've got a problem. It's a Thomas which is not powering up. Now what is very interesting here is I've had Trackmaster stuff before which doesn't work. This duck never powered up properly. I don't think it's ever run, no matter what I've done with batteries in there, and I thought one day I was going to investigate that, but I've come across a Thomas which has got a problem as well. I've already tried to put a battery in this. Let's go through and see what the problem is.
I better put this title up or else somebody will want to take me out. Boo-hoo.
What was a little disappointing for me was this Thomas came with a sticker on the top there which really wasn't put on in the right spot. It's riding a bit high, and that's sad because that's sort of more what you would see on the clone stuff that I look at. And it's not as if I'm short on Thomases. I've got heaps of these styles of Thomases. And from what I can see, the ones that I've got have got good sticker placement on every one. Considering this set came with a Thomas that you could see in the blister wrapping here, I should have looked more carefully and avoided the Thomas which has got the sticker out of place. And before we get started here, I should show you we're dealing with a battery which is full of juice, completely full. Young Thomas, this is not going to hurt one bit. Let's get the battery in there and I'll show you what went on. Of course I've already seen this, that's why I've made this into a little mini feature. The battery's in, nothing. The battery is in the correct way. Oh, I just heard a bit of sound. No, nothing. Now, I've had lots of people contact me and say to me, hey Leo, I've bought a Trackmaster train, I put a battery in and it doesn't work. Well, let's find out what's going on. Let's start off, let's select it on. So I've got on all the time with the battery in there. Let's look at the negative terminal, which is the front of the train. It feels good in there, it's nice and clean, it feels firm. Definitely good contact being made there. Let's have a look at the positive end. It's a bit different at the positive end. You've got this plastic here, which I suppose it helps ride the battery in the right position. The button on the top of the battery goes down that slot there. And I've had other toys where I've had a problem where quite often it makes a contact issue having this plastic. And let's have a screwdriver down there, see if I can get this to go.
Not the battery. Now what?
That's in the on position there. And well, that's weird. If I twist it, it comes good. So has me wondering, there's a connection wonky here somewhere. Look around. Oh, okay. There's a little metal connection in there under the battery, just under that button area. Just to get your geography here, there's the motor there. There's the rear driving wheel. The positive terminal of the battery is up there, and there's a two little metal connections in there. And look at that, if I twist it that way, there's a gap. If I close it up, it works. And I'm having to put a fair bit of twist in that to get it to work. But, I mean, look at that. Oh, that's really weird, isn't it? Well, let's just throw the top on, even though it's not working like that. Maybe you've got to have everything together to make this work now. All my other Thomases aren't like that. Remember, I've got a few. No, nothing. Batteries in there. What if I can... No, that's the on is forward. See if I can twist it on there, but no, because it goes all rigid once that top is on. I can't twist that at all. It's like a block of cement. Let me look at another Thomas of the same guild. I've got another one here. It's from the Shake Shake Bridge set. Let's see how it's done. Okay, I have got another Thomas here. It's the same era, I suppose you want to call it the word era, or make, or type, or model, or version. It's from a Shake Shake Bridge, the ultimate Trackmaster set. I've got a fresh, spanking fresh battery here. Works. Bang. Let's have a look at that connection then and see what's different. Well, there's that same connection in there, the two little pieces of metal, which looks different on the other Thomas, which is the new one from the Risky Rails bridge drop. And if I twist this, just zooming out, if I twist this, I can't get this to stop. So there's obviously a flaw with the way the other Thomas is put together. So I'm back with my Risky Rails Thomas. I'll pull them apart again and let's have a much closer inspection of what's going on and why this is playing up. Well, here we are at the positive end of the battery. I want to take that out because I want to look underneath this little plate here. Little blue cover. I suppose it's a very important blue cover. And that screw's going to fall out. It's a bit tricky pulling this up. The Waveview Blue Beast. And now we can see some connections. And I can definitely see that that piece of metal there is... Right, it looks like that blue cover, all its job is to push that down. And what we need is this connected to... Well, those two pieces of metal, they're connected. There's a piece of metal that runs from the negative here, runs up underneath, and goes... I think that's part of the major connection of getting power up into the motor. Yeah, interesting. It's all to do with that little blue piece. That's like the thing which creates the connection, I dare say. Let's reinstall it and make sure we get some continuity. And actually, before I connect it, just have a closer look at this. There's plastic distress going on this piece. On this side, this is the side which would be... Is that right? Yeah, because that's not... The screw is on the side where the metal doesn't ride on top of each other. That's the side here where the metal rides. I meant to make a connection, and that's all been squishied up. So I wonder if that has to do with the problem here and the way it's been installed. I mean, we sent man to the moon in the 60s, and we can't make a toy train work in the year 2012, so I think humanity's in some serious trouble. Well, anyway, I'll try and pull this down so we've got a bit more play on that metal, because I'm pretty sure that pushes down on that piece of metal to make a connection. If it's all squishied up, well, it's not doing its job. Then again, I really don't know what I'm looking at here. Let's put it back together and see what happens. You know, I quite enjoy these sorts of little problems, and it's really nice because, like I said, possibly before, I said people were contacting me and saying, hey Leo, just before I go, you can just see in there, before I close this up, the way that, I'll call it plastic tongue, when I push that down, it's going to push down on that piece of metal. See that there? And make our connection. I've got a feeling that was the problem. Well, I hope so. Not back together yet. Yes, as I was saying, I have people contact me and saying, I've got a problem with my train or whatever. It's very hard to diagnose unless I can actually see it, because it could be a number of things. It's quite often not as simple to fix as... Oh, that's a good feel. That snapped back in real nice. I like that. It looks different now. It looks all... Let me put this screw back in and we'll have another look at those metal connections. Got a feeling right from factory that plate... Oops. Fail, I just dropped my screw. I've got a feeling that plate was not installed correctly, and I'm wondering if duck is suffering the same fate, and this may be a very common problem. I mean, fancy someone like me ending up with something that doesn't work. It's interesting, that. So yeah, I have to have a look. It looks different in there. Let's have a closer look. Well, sorry for this nauseating video of looking at little tiny things down dark corners, but I can see that metal is a really good connection in there now. And if I throw a battery in, it feels nice and firm. Hopefully, we'll have some power going on. Got the continuity around the right way, and flick it on. Yeah, go Betty go! So guys, I really do hope this helps you if you've got this sort of problem. That's somewhere to check. And I would say, from what I've seen, that little blue plate there has been installed incorrectly, and it's caused a continuity problem on that connection there. Well, you can think of this problem in two ways. You can think, well, Leo was very unlucky to have a toy which didn't work, and it makes the people who produce this look a little bit bad, but you can also look at it in this way. They were very lucky that Leo got one of these, because he can help other people fix the problems which may happen with their trains. wondering, am I the unluckiest consumer in the world, or is a number of these Thomases been put out with that style of fault? That is the big question I've got to ask. There's a number stamped underneath the Thomas which played up. It looks like 126202. I don't know if that's a batch number or anything to do with the date of manufacture. And up the front there, it's just telling me it's a 2009 licensed product. Mattel, made in China. Up inside the shell of Thomas there's another number, R9485-2028. From what it looks like, the Risky Rails bridge drop is a fantastic set. Just a shame if you got landed one with a Thomas that didn't work, and the anguish that could cause if it's the child's first railway. Look, I'm that curious about this now, but let's have a look at Duck and see what's going on with this fine chap. It says it's a 2009 Duck, well, licensed product. I don't know what that really means. I mean, I don't know how to identify these things. Funny, you know, this didn't work and I just put it aside. I didn't send it back to the shops. I didn't think much of it until I had some other people contact me saying, hey, I need to see battery, better get the proper battery for it, I'll be back. And what I always do religiously before I use the battery is I check to see if it's got any charge. That one's got charge. Yeah, I go to put the battery in, go to turn it on, nothing. Dead as a duck. But it's a different design to the Thomas that I just looked at. I might take this over to another video. I think I've spoken too long on this. I don't know if I could have a quick prod here to see what's going on. I can see wires and things, and I don't know. Yeah, I've spent, but I mean, there's just another one that I've got which is dead. I'll do it in another video, maybe. I can't promise that completely, but I hope this has helped you guys. Well guys, this may be the ultimate Trackmaster set. It is fantastic looking, it's got some fantastic playability, and I'm going to do a big review on this one. Do something special, whoa! But keep an eye out for that, it's going to take a little while to make. Hope I fixed up some of your battery problems. As always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.
Meanwhile, on another railway outside, let's have a track update.
And just out here on my very inexpensive G-scale garden railway, and I talked about this section of track here, and I actually bumped into a railway engineer, and we had a bit of a chat about track designs, and what affects real trains affects model railways as well. And he said to me very simply that if you've got a curve going this way and then a curve going that way, that's bad. You need to put a straight in here, which is the length of your longest carriage, and that rule applies to the real railways apparently. And like I showed in the video, there's a hesitation there or a resistance in that section of track. The train doesn't like going through that little S that I've caused there. But doing a simple change here is going to actually affect a lot of track, because as soon as I put a straight in, it changes a whole bunch of track connected to that going down the line. And I haven't got any room on that side. I collided with a tree, so I have to come on the inside and possibly do a great big different layout than what I've got here. He also said to me the steer clear of this sort of formation that I've got here, that's a point-to-point setup, and I only did that to well, to create something a little bit different and something interesting. But he said to me that's a great challenge often for train wheels, to negotiate that style of setup. You know what, that engineer was right. Nothing like finishing on a train wreck.